All right, day two's in the books, and I, for one, thought the Lions had a very solid draft last night. With our first pick last night in the second round, we took DeAndre Swift, running back out of Georgia. With our first pick in the third round, we took Julian Okwara out of Notre Dame. And with our last pick last night, we took Jonah Jackson, guard out of Ohio State. I'm going to start with DeAndre Swift and kind of work our way down in the order they got drafted. DeAndre Swift is a 5'8", 212-pound running back. At the combine, he ran a 4.48 40-yard dash. Last year with the Bulldogs, DeAndre Swift ran for 1,218 yards and 7 touchdowns. He also received for 219 yards and an extra touchdown on top of that. I think this is a good pick for the Lions. I like Kerryon Johnson, but he's hurt all the time. So I think this kind of gives us another back if Kerryon gets injured, but I also think that it's going to help relieve some of that pressure from Kerryon, so he doesn't have to get as many doesn't have to take as many hits, doesn't have to carry the ball as much, so he could stay healthy. And then him and Kerryon and DeAndre Swift could be an amazing running back duo for the Lions. And maybe we'll actually get a 1,000-yard rusher. Who knows? So I really like this pick. I was kind of surprised because I didn't think running back was a big need. I thought we needed edge rusher or linebacker a little bit more. And when the pick was first announced, I was shocked. I didn't really like it because, as I said, I didn't think we needed a running back. But I think the Lions definitely made up for it with our second pick. Last night, our third overall pick, and that pick is Julian Okwara. Now, if Okwara sounds like a familiar name, it is. He has a brother that plays for the Detroit Lions, Romeo Okwara. This was a good pick for the Lions. I really liked this pick. This is who I wanted us to take in the third round when he was there. This is who I wanted us to take when he dropped and fell that far. We really needed an edge rusher. I think he's very talented. At some point in his career, he had a pretty bad knee injury. So that's kind of why his stock dropped a lot. With the Fighting Irish last year, totaled 19 tackles, 7 of those tackles for loss. He had 5 he had 5 sacks. He had 2 forced fumbles and 1 fumble recovery. Okwara is 6'4", 250 pounds. He also put up 27 reps at the bench press at the combine, so that's pretty impressive for him. The Lions definitely needed a pass rusher. Okwara can get to the quarterback. He can cover a little bit. Some of the highlights they showed last night had a couple interceptions. But one thing I really like about him, watching him, was he wraps up, and then when he knows he has you, he rips at the ball and tries to rip it out of your hands. And I think that's something the Lions need. They need to force turnovers. They didn't force very many last year. And they need to get pressure, which is something they also didn't do last year, and he can help with both. So I think that's a very good value pick, and I think that was a great pick by the Lions. And the last pick last night was Jonah Jackson. And we actually traded up to get him. We traded from 85 to 75, so we traded up 10 spots. In the process of that, we gave up pick 85, pick 149, and pick 182. And we received pick 75 and 197 from the team we traded up with. I like this pick. I think that we definitely needed a guard. I think it was a good pick. The Lions need to fill the hole that Graham Glasgow left when he went to Denver, and I think that he can come in and definitely compete for the spot, and I think he can actually start next year, day one. He has great hands. He only allowed 17 pressures in the last 2 seasons with the Rutgers and Ohio State. And the Big Ten has some pretty good pass rushers, so, that's saying something. He's a pretty good guard. So those are kind of the 3 picks, my opinion. I liked all of them. I thought Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia did a very good job last night. I think they're having a phenomenal draft. I think they're having a great draft. I think that this class is going to impact. I think everybody we've drafted so far is going to come in and, have an impact at least on day one, and most of them will probably start. That's all I got for right now. The grade, if I would give the Lions a grade so far, I'd probably give them a B+. I'll kind of go over that after the draft. I'll kind of go over, an overview of everything and kind of give you my opinion on how I think the whole class came together, and I'll give it a grade. But right now, I'd give it probably a B+. I really like the draft. I think they're doing a great job. So that's all I got right now. I'll come back later, probably with another NFC North, like what the rest of the NFC North did with their draft. And so I'll see you then. Bye.